Let's begin with a prayer with full concentration. Call on to them, Divine Mother, Heavenly Father, friend, beloved God, great Gurus, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Sri Yukteswar, beloved Guru, From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again. From joy I came, for joy I live. In sacred joy I melt again.
Sit for a moment in silence. I want only thee, Lord, thee, only thee. 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 I want only thee, Lord, thee, only thee.
Now we will start with this satsang in 2 minutes. Let's sit in silence.
Swami Sri Yukteswar, beloved Gurudeva, Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, saints and sages of all religions, dear friend and guide, Swami Kriyananda, humbly we bow at thy feet. O great ones, help us to feel thy tangible presence here with us. Help us to live our life moment to moment, every moment being conscious of your presence, going behind the time, behind the moment to feel thy presence. Always tuning into thy guidance, thy consciousness, thy bliss, thy blessings. We are thine. Be thou eternally ours. Bring us home. Introduce us to God. Om Shanti Shanti. Please take your seat. We will start with a few chants. We'll meditate, do affirmations, we'll have readings, and then the discourse, Aarti, and healing prayers and Prashad. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Brahmananda Parama Sukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tatvamasyadilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva chant is, what lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. 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 What lightning flash glimmers in thy face, mother. What lightning flash glimmers in thy face. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Seeing thee, I am thrilled through and through. Visualize the Divine Mother's form, her face, flashing brightly. Offer her your heart's love at her feet. Just for a moment, pause here, feeling her presence right here with us. In thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you want to cross the ocean of delusion, shaming the white lotus impurity, shaming the white lotus impurity, beyond all duality, Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you want to cross the ocean of delusion, shaming the white lotus in purity, shaming the white lotus in purity, beyond all duality. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. If you want to cross the ocean of delusion, if you want to cross the ocean of delusion, shaming the white lotus in purity, shaming the white lotus in purity, beyond all duality. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Guru, image of Brahma, deliver us from delusion. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Think in thy heart, lotus feet of thy Guru. Keep that image strongly in your heart at your spiritual life. Offer all the love, devotion at his feet. It's a very brief meditation. Dive in deep only to this image of Guru's feet. As we continue meditating, listen to this affirmation as given by Swami Kriyananda in Affirmations for Self-Healing. The topic is alertness. Swamiji writes, there are two currents in life. One takes us downward toward unconsciousness, the other upward toward cosmic consciousness. The first is an impulse born of the sense of past familiarity. Life, like a lotus, evolves out of the mud of lower consciousness toward the light of divine awareness. Subconsciously, we imagine ourselves comfortable with the stages we have traversed so far, but we are not always so ready for the adventure of further growth. The second current in life is the soul's impulse. We cannot find happiness in turning back toward the mud. Fulfillment lies only in reaching up toward perfect divine awareness. To achieve it, we must be alert in everything we do, for in the flow of increasing wakefulness lies the joy we all are seeking. Now we will do the affirmation. First, we will say this loudly, then in normal voice, then more softly, then in a whisper, and lastly, I'll say it out, but you follow this mentally. Let's say this out loud, the affirmation. I am awake, energetic, enthusiastic. I give to everything I do, knowing that absolute consciousness, I shall find God. Now in normal voice, I am awake, energetic, enthusiastic. I give my full alert attention to everything I do, knowing that in absolute consciousness, I shall find God. Now more softly, I am awake, energetic, enthusiastic. I give my full attention to everything I do, knowing that in absolute consciousness, I shall find God. Now in a whisper, planting it into our subconsciousness, I am awake, energetic, enthusiastic. I give my full alert attention to everything I do, knowing that in absolute consciousness, I shall find. Now I will say it aloud. You gaze up at the point between the eyebrows. Follow this mentally and plant the seeds of these words, this affirmation, into your superconsciousness to bring down whenever you need it. I am awake, energetic, enthusiastic. I give my full alert attention to everything I do, knowing that in absolute consciousness, I shall find God. Now this prayer, I will say it out loud. Follow this mentally. Let me pray always with alert, awake attention to thy listening presence, knowing that thou dost hear the merest whisper of my thoughts. Just for a moment, pause here. Tune into this affirmation, this prayer. Om Shanti Shanti. Now I invite Varsha to do her reading from Whispers from Eternity, and Kamal after that, or to do the reading from Essence of Bhagavad Gita.
This reading is from Whispers from Eternity. Tune us that we may hear thy voice. Volumes of thy Savior voice resound through the loudspeaker of every loving heart. The voice of thy wisdom roams through the ether of space, seeking everywhere hearts that are tuned to ecstasy. Sadly, thy warning sermons pass unheard by souls deafened with the static of sense pleasures. O divine broadcaster, tune our souls long distracted by the static of our indifference. Fine-tune us with the delicate touch of soul perception. Grant us the privilege of hearing thy magic melodies in the ecstasy of divine awakening. Om.
The Essence of the Bhagavad Gita by Paramahansa Yogananda, as remembered by Swami Kriyananda. The yogi learns to withdraw his attention from the reactive process. First of all, by calming the feelings in the heart, which initiate the reactive process. One then detaches his feelings from the ups and downs of reactive energy in the spine. From the subjective influence of success and failure, fulfillment and disappointment, attraction and repulsion, love and hatred, pleasure and pain, joy and sorrow, triumph and despair. It is helpful when trying to develop emotional detachment to concentrate one energy in the spine and there to equalize upward and downward flows of energy, which produce emotional reactions and are inextricably united to those reactions as long as heart's feelings remain restless. Finally, the yogi withdraws his energy into deep spine, the Sushumna. With this withdrawal, he awakens Kundalini, which being magnetized to flow upward, now begins its slow ascent through the deep spine towards enlightenment. Beginning yogis should try to become conscious of the connection between their reactive emotions, both positive and negative, and the corresponding upward and downward flow of energy in the Ida and Pingala nadis. This practice of centeredness in the spine will minimize their preoccupation with whatever occurs outwardly in their lives and with what has already occurred in past. The practice will focus their attention on the simple movement of energy in the spine. Thus, where most people's first thought is, how wonderful or how dreadful, the yogi, even if he is a beginner in yoga practices, find it relatively easy to cease from defining outer occurrences, either good or bad. Again, when anything or anyone threatens you in any way, not only physically, but by speaking angrily or perhaps insulting or accusing you, center yourself in the spine. At that center, you will become confident that nothing can touch you. As Yogananda said, you must be able to stand unshaken amidst the crash of breaking world. The above practice will help to ready you for facing any circumstance in life. Om Guru.
I think that summed the entire satsang today, what Master has written, what Krishna has said. So, okay. So this is what we are trying to understand. What is this power of pause, which is the topic for today? All of us remember 2 years back when the pandemic struck, right? We were all living a normal life, going to office, meetings, there were this business travels, the kids were going to school. When they come back, they're packed off to extracurricular activities, music, dance, sports, play dates. That was normal life. We took it for granted. Then the pandemic struck, the whole world almost. The whole world came to a stunning stop. The lockdowns, it was almost as if somebody had pressed a pause button in the rhythm of this world. Suddenly, next morning you wake up, there's nowhere to go to. There's nothing to do. Just log in. That's it. Every day morning you wake up and you wonder, Aaj kya khaye? Who will do the cleaning? Who will do the cooking? And no place to go to, nobody visiting our house. We don't have to go anywhere. No weekend planning to malls and eating out, nothing. It was very difficult period. People were falling sick, many were dying, people were losing their jobs. A lot of people got into depression, even young ones. And then slowly people got used to even that, what they started calling new normal. They started easing into it, relaxing into it. Suddenly they found it's okay. You don't have to rush, wasting so many hours going to the office, coming back. Just have to log in. It was easily effective. People found they are able to sit together. What we would say quality time is like going to the mall, watching a movie, eating out, sitting down, talking to the family, playing board games. It was quantity and quality time. You didn't have to rush off to an exotic location for a vacation, where most come back and say, I'm so tired. Now I need a vacation just to take it off. No, just sitting at home, people were able to connect, right? And then the weather was nice, the environment was cleaner. We were able to see the sky, the stars, which nobody had time to pause to notice, or the pollution was also too much to even notice that. And then this was also the period for people to be expansive, to think beyond themselves, beyond their families. People were cooking and sending out food for COVID affected people. People were going out and finding oxygen cylinders, hospital beds. So much of expansion that was happening. We at Ananda, the transition was smooth. From offline, we went online. We thought, oh, there is so much of inspiration. You tune into Ananda village, you tune into Palo Alto, there's always something happening. People were praying, there were healing prayers that were happening. All the people were, the tons of requests that were coming of people falling sick. People were going out of their way, praying for this. Round the clock, some Guru Bhai around the world was praying for somebody. There's so much of expansion that happened. Okay. And then, life again came back to normal, though the things are still around. People started relaxing into, we started appreciating what it is to come back, to be in, with Guru Bhais, in physical presence. Previously, we never even thought about it, things that we took for granted. Now we appreciate it. So a few weeks back, we had a silent retreat here at the center. It was a very short one, just 3 hours. Everybody was told, you come in, keep your gadgets out. You are not even acknowledging anyone. Just be by yourself. We did sadhana. After sadhana, we said, again, continue sitting here. Don't move out. No interaction. Everything was within yourself. Be inward. You want to go out for a walking meditation, go, but you are completely going to be inward. Even the lunch after that was inward. After the end of the 3 hours, we called them back and, we said, give us the feedback. One very interesting feedback that came was, one person said that, the very fact that I enter a room or I'm eating and I don't have to acknowledge the person sitting next to me or, get into this unnecessary having to talk forceful was de-stressing for me. And there were few who just didn't respond. Later on, the messages came, but they said at that moment, just those 3 hours. And they said, we didn't feel like coming out of ourselves and even having to say anything. It was that deep, just 3 hours. What had we done? We had paused. But we can all say, the ones who are here meditating for some time, we can say, but I do that every day. I meditate every day. I do all the practices, all the techniques. What was different? What happens, this everyday routine, when we have that routine, morning we get up, meditation is also part of the routine. As soon as we get up, we say, okay, I meditate now, I'll do energization, I'll meditate 45 minutes, 1 hour, whatever. And then after that, I have to do this, then go to office, pack up the kids, we send them off to school. There is always a mental clock ticking. So even before I sit down to meditation, I have already set a deadline. Now I have to finish off within that time. We're not completely relaxed, even though we think we are. But that day, what happened when we said, you do your sadhana, and then you are still sitting. There's nothing, nowhere to go to. At least 1.5 hours, we were all sitting here. We relaxed because अब तो कहीं जाना ही नहीं है. तो the sadhana was deeper. And even after that, people didn't want to come out of their sadhana. And then they were still sitting, introspecting, writing journals. It was a very relaxing moment. And that is what happened. When we had our lunch, there was no chatter. We were conscious of what we were eating. We were conscious of the taste of that prasad that we eat. We were conscious of what it was doing to it, the flavor. We were in that moment, right? Paused into that moment. That is the power of pause. So in these last few decades, there have been numerous research study that has been done on effect of pause. One of them is on student engagement during lectures. All of us remember from our school, college days when, some lecturer would go on in a drone and we are ready to fall off our seats. I hope none of you are right now. So, even if it's a very interesting topic, or even if there's a teacher who is very interesting and a student who's very attentive, at some point they drift off. And because all that new information that is coming, the brain is not able to process it. So it kind of drifts off at some point. So what they did was, at some point during the lecture, they will give a pause, 2 to 3 minutes, that is. And it wasn't a random pause where you then, you can sit and chat with your friend sitting next to you, but a pause where the student is asked to reflect what has been shared so far, check your notes, or discuss the topic, what you have understood so far with your peer. And then after 3 minutes, the lecturer again takes it back. What they found was that average rate of recall was much higher among students. And their test scores were better. They understood it better, and the long-term recall was also very high. They would remember it for a long time. And we all know the importance of pause in the art of communication, right? Any good speaker, you listen to Swami Kriyananda's talks, he uses pauses very effectively. So it's a very important tool. And he has also spoken about it. When you are about to tell a very important thing, you pause, just so that, you bring all the attention and then you put the topic in. Or, you pause when in that pause, you're able to organize your ideas. And then, so you're a very effective speaker. And a lot of good speakers use that. Even in corporate world, Steve Jobs was known to do that. And this cognitive behavioral therapy, they have this very celebrated technique called STOP. S means stop. Stop whatever you're thinking. Stop whatever you're doing. T is take a few deep breaths. Bring yourself to your center. Does that seem familiar? Then O is observe. Observe what is happening, what is trying to happen, and what exactly is happening with your feelings. We just had that reading from Bhagavad Gita. It all starts from here. Everything starts from here. The feelings of the heart are disturbed. Our reactions, the judgment, the decisions that we make is based on that. So just observe, what is this particular situation doing to my feelings? And then proceed. Simple. He said, and they, in fact, the Los Angeles Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Institute, they said that when somebody does this mindfulness in every situation, in every experience through the day, they lived less in autopilot and lived more in the moment. Yeah. Even, the ones who are meditating, even if we are very good, we have good meditations, it's very easy to be, caught up in the day through the stress and all the things are happening around us in our every day-to-day living. So if you see, I mean, that as I mentioned, this STOP is very, I mean, these the studies and all are few decades old. The rishis in India have told, they know, they know the reason that, one gets. I mean, they didn't have to do any research. They knew it, that there is a connection between the mind, the heart, and the breathing. And all our teachings, if you see, they are very focused on that only, on coming to your center, right? Whenever here, I mean, just today, when we had that kirtan, it is not like we just go from one chant to the next. There is always a pause between the chants where you just go back into your center, focus on what you just chanted, focus on the feeling that it is, it has given us. And then the next chant, right? We always, especially in Ananda Yoga, there are various systems where they just flow from one asana to another next. In Ananda Yoga, when we do our yoga postures, we don't just flow. Even between the two sides of an asana, we pause. We keep coming back to the center in Tadasana, or if it's sitting down in Balasana. Why do we do that? To not only integrate the benefit of that asana, but also to keep, it's like, you use the energy to hold the intention and then bring it back in relaxation into your astral spine, offer it to the spiritual eye, and in that we relax. The relaxation is very important. You can't keep tensing, you'll snap. Through life, that's what happens. Why do people have these breakdowns? They're very, these days the common thing is stressed out. I'm very stressed out. Why do you need to be stressed out? And then we have courses on stress management. Why do you need to manage stress? You don't need to be stressed to be even having to manage it, right? The whole idea, the whole key is come back to your center, relax. The pauses are very important. When we do energization exercises, what did Master say? Tense with will, relax and feel. Very important to feel that and then move to the next pause. It's not like you just do one exercise after another. We tend to do that in our, I have to finish my sadhana today, so I do one exercise, the next. We forget to relax and feel. Very important to do that. And meditation, of course, is a pause. It's perfect relaxation. But pause is also the goal of meditation. Higher states of meditation happen in Kevala Kumbhaka, is what they say, which is, it's a natural retention of breath, which happens when we are completely relaxed. We are in that peace, complete peace, is when that happens. So it's a very important aspect of meditation that we need to do that. And even the first day when we come here and try to learn meditation, we are taught what? Hangsa technique. What do we do in that? What are we told? That become the observer. We are so used to controlling, right? Control the life, control situations. Here you just become an observer. Watch the process of breathing. And when the breath has paused, what do? We are told, savor that pause. Enjoy that silence behind that pause. Don't try to pause, breathe back again. Just hold, wait for it to start. Enjoy the silence. The more we do that, the mind becomes calm. The thoughts, it becomes thoughtless. We are in the deep silence. And we are told, in that stillness, try to listen to the inner silence. What is silence? Master said, silence is the voice of God. Our mind is always chattering. God is talking, gurus are sending us messages. Nothing. We are busy with our WhatsApp messages. We are not there. Where will we listen? So in that stillness, we need to listen in that silence. Master said, silence is the altar of God. On Autobiography of a Yogi, when we read most of the saints that he has talked about, all in fact, they were silent most of the day, most of the time. Lahiri Mahashaya, he would say to his disciples that I will guide you, you write the interpretation of Bhagavad Gita, and then he would go into Samadhi. He wasn't like telling, "Oh, okay, write this, write that." He would go into samadhi. And the disciple also has to go into, that inner silence to become receptive to what he's sending, what vibration, thought vibration is it sending. Only then, and they would write it down. To pick up that, to pick up what our masters are telling us, we have to become empty receptors, just receiving it. We need to pause whatever we are thinking, whatever we are doing. Swamiji said that master would always say, to know me, meditate on me. He wouldn't say, read about me, see my pictures, nothing. He said, meditate on me. Trailanga Swami was a Moni Baba, who lived for 300 years. Sri Yukteswar, master said, Swamiji always used to say, even for master, that everybody would say that, oh, you monks are so lucky, you live with him, you must be. He said he never hardly spoke to us. He was always in silence with us. There is this funny story that Swamiji says. He was a young monk and master had taken him along for his silence retreat. And one day he was digging something, that was his job that day. And master was sitting, he thought nobody is there, Norman has gone, and let me try talking to him. And he said, Master, I don't understand this Om technique. What is this? How does it sound? Master said, that's it. He said, oh, wait, okay, let me try again. But how do I do this technique? He said, master just held his hands in the posture, and then again he was silent. He said, I got the point. You have to be silent to receive everything that we have to. So now having come that, well, there are some tips that master has given that we can also take from here, which is STOP. Stop. Every now and then, as we are busy with our everyday life, in office work, with everything that with the family, stop. Take some few deep breaths. And even better, we, those of us who are on the path, master has given us techniques like Hong Sau. He said you can do it anywhere. You're sitting in an airport lounge, you're standing in a long queue, you can do Hong Sau. Rather than, allowing the mind to go all over the place, thinking, he did this, she said that. He said, pause, do your Hong Sau. He said, do between your work, go and do a few kriyas, take kriya breaks, he said. So it's much more deepening than just stopping, but also it's very important that when we pause, always check, and especially when, we are being provoked, rather than reacting, just go back, withdraw to your center, take a few deep breaths, see what is doing, what is happening because of that situation. Is this heart feeling? How is it? Is it very agitated? Stop it. And then respond. That's what master said, respond. And in all the activity, din of activity, he said, be calmly active, actively calm. And where does that calmness come from? By withdrawing into our centers, right? Meditate more. That is a given. We all need to meditate more deeply, even if it's a short meditation, to dive deep within, right from the word go. And that happens when we have practiced pause during our everyday activity. So this meditation, the piece of meditation feeds into everyday activity. That the activities, the kind of attitude we carry into that feeds into our meditations, right? And every now and then go into gadget breaks. Short time, probably we can start with 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, keep increasing slowly, where we can, we can live without our gadgets. We have to, nothing should be conditioned. We shouldn't be conditioned. Our happiness, our existence shouldn't be conditioned with any of this. So take those breaks. When we go off, people often go out for walks and all, and we have this song going on. Go for walking meditations. Walk with master. Have a conversation going with him. Now these days, the beautiful flowers, blossoms. Watch those beautiful flowers. See what the God is trying to tell us through those beautiful colors. He has created this world, as master said, for our education and entertainment. But he said, how few are educated or entertained. If God has created this, enjoy that. Tell God it's beautiful. Like how There was this saint who came to Ramakrishna Paramahansa's ashram once, and every day morning he would go and clap his hand and he would say, "Good job, God, good job." Do we ever appreciate, stop the birds chirping? Can we listen to those words and them chirping and say, what is God trying to tell me? The wind, the breeze, what is God trying to tell me through the breeze? This is pausing, being in the moment, rather than having this generally walking and thinking, oh, I have to go there, I have to be in the moment. Enjoy every moment, moment to moment. When we go beyond that moment, we realize God is always there, whispering to us. We aren't there. Listen to him. Isn't that interesting? And very important, Master said, go to seclusions. That we did a very short seclusion here, 3 hours, but it's good to start with. We can keep increasing. He said, go longer seclusion. Swamiji used to always go for this week, every year. He would go for a week long, 10 days seclusion. And he said that effect of that, and what do you do in seclusion? Not just sleep and, just be random, but, meditate more. In fact, this was what was happening even during the COVID time when all of us were stuck in the house. A lot of us were meditating more, doing more of those techniques. So these things happen when we are in seclusion. There is nothing else to do. Meditate more, read more, listen to Swamiji's talk, have walking meditations. And Swamiji said that that week that I would do, the effect of that week would carry with me for the entire year. The changes, because we don't realize a lot of subtle changes that happen, subtle transformations that happen. That carries on for a long, long time. So it's good to, that is the power of the pause, and it's good for us to every now and then come back to that center. So let us, before we finish, just come back to the center again. Let's sit in silence, pondering over these deep, deep tools that Master has given. Get into your center, gaze up at the spiritual eye. Just focus at your heart center, feeling the love, the blessings that we always receive when we get together with Guru Bhais, with Gurus. Bringing all that love, the blessings into our heart center. Expand it out to everyone in this room. Sharing it with everyone. We'll have Aarti.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, 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 Jai Ram, Jai 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 Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai
Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram 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 Jai Jai Ram Om
Let us close today's session with our hearts full of gratitude, wanting to share the blessings with everyone in this world who is in need. Let's pray together. Divine Mother, Thou art omnipresent. Thou art in all Thy children. Manifest Thy healing presence in all hearts, in all minds, and in all souls. Divine Mother, may Thy love shine on the sanctuary of our devotion. May we be able to share Thy love with all whom we meet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all for joining today. Joy to you all. Let's meet in the next room. We have Prashad.